Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down approximately 2% and Ethereum down approximately 3% below that psychological $2,000 level. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are pretty much in the red, guys. We have some deep retracements throughout the market, but the question is, are we going to get a further continuation to the downside? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project, one altcoin, and of course, it's going to be BNB. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, special welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency. We talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below or hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. But better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. Of course, the market right now is reacting to what's happening with Binance and CZ. At the end of the day, the scenario is that Binance could be accepting the deal, a deal which, you know, he has to pay $4 billion. Okay, and we're going to talk about the news tonight at 7:30. Of course, we'll get into a little bit more detail, but $4 billion fine. And of course, something that a lot of people have been talking about lately is the fact that he will have to resign and plead guilty to the charges. You know, this is the issue here, guys. A lot of people are looking at this as a negative. In fact, I think of this as a positive. Temporarily, in the short term, we could see a bit of a dip in the market. In fact, it could be a catalyst. It could be a reason why we finally roll over and see a dip, final dip, the last hurrah before we can scale in for the bull run. And maybe this is absolutely healthy to kind of get to those lower levels, give us one more opportunity. But the reality is that we are ripping off the FUD like a band-aid. Binance, CZ is taking it for the team, and in this case, taking the path of least resistance. We know that a lot of exchanges of the past that have been around for a while, we're basically in the wild, wild west of crypto, and they must have done a lot of things that maybe in today's day wouldn't have flied, right? But since then, they may have gotten into full compliance and pretty much, you know, respected the rules and did everything by the book. And if that's the case, the reality is the history doesn't get erased. History is still gonna creep up on them. So maybe CZ from Binance realizes that he cannot escape any of this, and the path of least resistance is to resign. And of course, he's still going to be around. He's still going to be, you know, part of the Binance community, 100%. That's inevitable. And at the end of the day, take it for the crypto community in general, so we can get on with this bull run. And I feel like that's the biggest sacrifice that, you know, CZ as a leader of the biggest exchange out there could do for the crypto community. So, you know, overall, I'm with CZ. I'm not a big user of Binance, but nonetheless, for me, Binance and CZ so far has been doing everything right in as far as the community goes. Let's move on here. So we'll talk about this more tonight's live stream. Feel free to join at 7:30 Eastern tonight. We'll talk about all of these little details, and of course, you feel free to make those requests for any of those altcoins. Let's begin here. Binance going sideways. Sorry, Bitcoin going sideways and showing a bit of strength, given the fact that, you know, the market, the altcoin market's taking a bit of a beating. We see Bitcoin going sideways, looking pretty strong. It looks like a safe haven with this volatility. Ethereum taking a bit of a bigger dip, but still pretty good. And of course, Binance coming down approximately 6%. And as we scroll through the market, you can see that these layer ones, these larger cap altcoins, are definitely dipping down to those lower levels. Now, is this the final Is this it? Is this the dip? Are we done? Are we ready to recover? Honestly, guys, I don't think so. I think that in order to get really, really bullish once again, where I'm going to be scaling in one more time for the last hurrah, it's definitely to see Bitcoin retrace and get oversold, at least on the 4-hour. I'll be interested on the daily, of course, but at least on the 4-hour before I'll dip my toes into some more altcoins in accumulation. We see a bit of a dip between 5 to 10% across the market, some a little bit less, of course. Monero 2%, and we have, but Caspa's coming down 12%, and we have a few others, CRO, Filecoin on the top end, Near Protocol another 10%. But we can't forget that a lot of these altcoins that are currently retracing, for example, BitTensor Tau is up significantly from the bottom where it rallied when it started running. So a bit of a dip of 20% is nothing. The reality is I would be happy to be buying Tau back at about, $150 to about $90 if we're lucky to get there. But it's already reached a $1.3 billion market cap, and Caspa's even higher, about $2.6 billion. So these guys, for me, based on my measurement, they're large cap altcoins already. These guys have done a great job already. They could do more, of course. We're going to get into a bull run, and we're going to see the overall market cap run. But nonetheless, I'm looking for low cap altcoins in the immediate short term. I'm looking to scale in to those lower cap altcoins, micro caps, low cap altcoins, sub $30 million market cap altcoins. Now, could these become, once again, sub 30 million? I doubt it, guys. These guys have already ran. BitTensor Tau, value proposition is strong. So any dips, I'll be interested in accumulating. What else do we have here? We have Algo, we have Stacks, a few dips throughout the market, as can be seen. Phantom 9%. We have, but again, I'm looking for double-digit dips. I look for double-digit gains. I also look for double-digit dips. And unless I get those real retracements, I'm going to be waiting patiently here, guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the immediate short term, watching this market, see how it actually reacts to all of this. And maybe that Binance news was what is exactly what we needed to see the market finally show us a bit of weakness, and so that we can come down, confirm the low of Bitcoin, and get that price action to the upside once again. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin using Bitcoin again as a leading indicator. Then we'll talk about Binance and BNB, and we'll look at exactly where I think these charts could hold a bit of support. All right, so we see Bitcoin definitely still within range. Nothing has changed. Yeah, we're in structure, upward sloping channel, still fully intact. What do we expect from Bitcoin in the immediate short term? Guys, I'm expecting a bit of relief to the downside. To be honest, I'm expecting a bit of a dip. Now, let's start off with looking at the weekly for a second. We're climbing this support line. We can see this horizontal diagonal definitely intact, and I know my charts are a bit everywhere, but just bear in mind that I definitely need to kind of clean these up, but you can see that the channel is definitely here, right? We're definitely hitting the top of the channel. Maybe a bit of a dip is due, guys, and we can come down to as low as even the bottom of the channel, which takes us to about 28,300, give or take. And again, we can even break down and hit it even lower and come down to the biggest level that I'm looking at, which is at about 25K. So if we do that, and Bitcoin does do that, is that bearish for Bitcoin? Absolutely not. In my opinion, obviously none of this is financial advice, but in my opinion, seeing Bitcoin come down and hit this level, get some solid support based on this low, making another higher low at this level would be absolutely bullish. We can now rest assured that we do have a low, a high, and a higher low. This would be the confirmation low to give us the indication that this was the low, and that now we should be getting in based on a healthy risk to reward ratio. So that's what I'm going to be looking at in the immediate short term. Now, we'll wait for momentum to show us some conditions. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can look at exactly what is happening. Here on the weekly, we can see that Bitcoin is definitely overbought. It finally reached that level, and we're getting a pale green histogram bar right into the weekly time frame, showing a bit of weakness right here with that pale green histogram bar. Now, it's not completely weak until we get that EMA cross. It could happen any moment, and I am definitely waiting for that. And if we get on the daily, you can see that the bearish divergence is following through. We saw a class A bearish divergence, higher highs on the price action based on this channel, right at resistance of the top of this overall big legacy trend line based on the channel that we just discussed, and higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI, and we're finally kind of once again breaking through this support line. Is this time to potentially expect that Bitcoin finally rolls over? Possible here, guys. So again, we're going to have a bit of a bumpy ride along the way. I believe that we could get a bit of a reaction here at about $32,000 right within this volume gap. It could be an opportunity to buy the dip. Again, I'm waiting for oversold conditions on the daily, on the 4-hour. Let's see how that looks like. But ultimately, I would love to see Bitcoin hit the bottom of the range, hit this level, 28,000 and maybe even 25K. And then I'm interested, especially in those altcoins. All right, guys, that's what I got to take out here on Bitcoin. Right now, it's definitely looking a bit weak. The MACD, let's look at that. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars to the downside, and the 4-hour ultimately coming down again, you know, within this channel type of thing. The momentum looks a bit slumpy. Do we get to oversold territory and kind of hang out there for a little bit longer and finally give us that opportunity to pack our bags for the bull run? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. All right, let's continue here, guys. Obviously, today is about Binance, BNB. What's going on with the BNB chart? It's very reflective of what's happening in the market currently. We got to be real about that. You know, what did you expect? You know, any negativity with regards to Binance or BNB is going to reflect on the charts, obviously. But let's zoom out here a second, guys. Let's zoom out. What is happening here with Binance? Nothing really happened, okay? We're still within structure. We're still within range. And I think as soon as all the FUD, all the clickbait, because I've seen so much clickbait today where people are trying to just spread and compare Binance with FTX and what happened with FTX and CZ with Sam Bankman. Guys, this is a totally different story. Please don't get confused about what's really happening here. At the end of the day, I don't think Binance is going to be breaking down here, okay? Obviously, I don't know. I don't have no crystal ball to tell you exactly what's be happening in the future, but ultimately it could be possible that we see Binance get into a very undervalued scenario where we could see Binance overcome and continue to the upside, right? The exchange itself is not in collapse at the current moment. There's nothing towards that is suggesting that. So be careful with all that FUD. Now, if we just focus on price action, right, it is in a scenario where, you know, it does look a bit interesting. Okay, we did come down, bounced, dead cat bounce back to the previous level of support. We created a slightly higher low, which is really good. We're breaking out. We were breaking above that 200 daily, on track to start moving to the upside. We got the FUD. We broke down. Okay, that's it. Now the question is, do we break down below that $200 level once again? Do we get to the zone and finally capitulate and maybe get down to about $135? Guys, that would be my bearish price target. Obviously, I have others, because if you look below, there's not much volume into this price action. Straight up from about $44 straight up to about $100 and or about $195 to $200, guys. So we ran straight up. A bit of a consolidation right here in the middle at about 120 that could also act as support. So what I'm really looking at, guys, is the empty spots below. From here to here, a gap, bit of a support, maybe from 130 all the way down to 44, huge gap, a bit of price action looking left, but nothing crazy right within here. So we got to be very, very careful here that if Binance does break below about that 195, that it's likely that we start coming down much lower levels. But the risk to reward ratio is absolutely healthy. If we happen to come back to the psychological level of a nice round number of $200 once again, you could put a stop loss right underneath the lows, get into a bit of a position and risk a bit of a potential of your capital for a potential pop to the upside, where people start really believing and understanding what is really happening here with Binance. They're given an opportunity to clear the slate and start again. That's the history will be paid off. Let's put it that way. Okay, will be totally wiped off, paying the fee, getting CZ off the off of being the leader, and at the end of the day, moving on from all the FUD that Binance has been dealing with for so long. This is actually a bullish thing. Let's get into the 4-hour for a second here. We see a bit of a jitter, again, a nice volume spike with regards to volume, suggesting that market participants are bringing down the price. But really, what did really happen here? Nothing, guys. Nothing. A little bit of a jitter, and I think that the market is going to start to realize that there's nothing to worry about. In fact, we're seeing other altcoins, fall a lot harder. Again, because altcoins, especially the lower caps, are risk on assets. People are fearful that this could actually follow through and, actually bring us some negativity. And if that were to be the case, you're going to expect those altcoins to take a bigger hit. And obviously those are risk on. So we want to kind of exit those riskier assets and protect our gains. Ultimately, Binance is in a good spot. I believe that it should be okay to actually be looking for lower levels and taking those opportunities as they come, because Binance could definitely be getting into a very basically undervalued scenario. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on those socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. And of course, guys, join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.